Okay, hey guys. So I thought with all the hysteria about Ukraine, it might be worth getting on and making a few comments. I'm seeing a lot of what I think is misinformation. But the truth is, nobody really knows, or at least none of the general population of the world really knows what's going on. But I think there's some things that we can know for sure, and then there's some things which is a speculation, and we don't really know. So the first thing that we can know for sure is whatever the narrative is that we're hearing through the mainstream media is going to be a lie. So we can be pretty confident of that because they have a track record of lying about everything, especially events like this. So the first thing we need to do is stop listening to mainstream media other than maybe just to know what they're saying occasionally. I don't even bother with that. I can find out what they're saying through enough sources without having to listen to them going on about whatever it is that they're saying. So, but we know for sure that mainstream media are going to be lying. There is something going on in Ukraine, are bombs being dropped and so on? Probably. Although we can't even say that for absolute certainty, but I think it's fairly certain that something is going on and bombs are being dropped and so on. But in terms of the what's, where, and wherefores and whys and all of that, we can't trust the mainstream media. So let me try and simplify it a little bit, the way that I think in my mind. So there's two basic possibilities. Either Putin is part of the New World Order, okay, and all of this is part of the strategy that they have planned, um, which is potentially the most probable because pretty much all the world leaders of the major countries are. Or alternatively, Putin is genuinely fighting the New World Order. So those are the two possibilities. So we have to frame it in that way. So first of all, we have to say, okay, what do we think it is? Which side is he on here? Is he fighting them or is he with them? If he's with them, then in all probability, this is just a new way of bringing about the goals that they have because COVID is running out of steam. They need something new, something to refocus on and to allow us to make changes that will take freedoms and all the rest of it. So, one of the things that we need to be looking for, if that's the case, is does this event contribute to going in the direction that the New World Order wants? So sorry about that joking. So, for example, is it going to contribute to taking our freedoms in the West, in the US and the UK and so on? Are we going to have massive price rises in fuel and food shortages and all the things that we know they want to do because of these events? I think that's quite likely that we are going to see some of those things. So, if it's that, you've got to understand that this is not Putin operating himself, but he's just another puppet playing the game, taking us in the direction of bringing down the system. If he's not fighting them, and that's the two possibilities. And I'm not sure which of those it is. I'm really not. I have a hope that he is fighting them, but it might be more of a wishful thinking hope than a reality hope. But anyway, so that's the one possibility. The second possibility is that Putin is who he says he is, and the persona that he gives and the information that he gives that he's anti the New World Order and that he's fighting them. Now, in that situation, we have to understand that Ukraine is a dictatorship effectively with a New World Order puppet in place that's doing the bidding of the elite, and they're putting all kinds of military things in the Ukraine, surrounding or getting very close to the Russian border, going against what they've previously agreed to with Russia. Um, and Russia's had enough. And Russia is taking the initiative, which it normally is more passive, but Russia's taking the initiative and starting to fight, not the Ukrainian people, but the military bases and the deep state effectively. So that's the other possibility. Okay, so that would be a positive thing, a very positive thing if that was the case. So it's very difficult to know which of those two basic scenarios it is. But think of it like this. So if Canada has a prime minister, so is the US really, but a prime minister that let's say that is not doing the will of the people. I've got to be careful with my words on these things, but it's not doing the will of the people. He's going against his own constitution, breaking laws, and so on and so on. So if another country was to go into Canada to break down that system of control, would that be a bad thing or a good thing? If the people have voted effectively with the protests and so on, they've been crushed illegally. So if a country went in to deal with that, would that be a good thing? I would say it would be a good thing. That potentially could be what's happening right now in the Ukraine. So, or not exactly that, but some parallels within that. So it's really, we've got to be really, really careful with this. The media is obviously painting Russia as the bad guy, and they are the good guys. Well, we know they're not the good guys. We know that our authorities are not the good guys. Russia may be bad as well, may be part of it, or may not be. They may be fighting it, but there's a chance that Russia is fighting them. However small, if it's a 5% chance, 10% chance, 20%, whatever, there's a chance that Putin is fighting them. I'd still lean more towards he's probably a puppet as well, probably. And probably this is just another step towards, they've used the COVID thing to take away our freedoms. That's kind of running out of steam, and now they're switching tactic. Probably, but maybe not. I'm hopeful. I have some hope that maybe he's fighting them. But either way, listen, guys, we've got to stop trusting a single word that's said by mainstream media, or even the people in Ukraine. Imagine the people in Canada, if somebody was taking out Trudeau, some of them would be vehemently supporting him and painting a very different story to some other people in Canada. So even the people in Ukraine, if you've got contact or you're hearing from them and you genuinely know people, and it's not just somebody saying they're from the Ukraine or whatever, that might be a troll, spy, whatever, they don't necessarily have any clue what's going on either. Just like a lot of Canadians don't have any clue, and a lot of Americans don't have any clue what's going on in their own country. So a lot of them are brainwashed by their own systems, and they're just going to spout back what they've been taught. So this makes it extremely, extremely difficult, is my point. So are innocent people going to die? I think they're dying all the time in this war. They're dying through the stuff that's been going on with COVID. We've got innocent people dying in the UK, in Canada, everywhere, because of the war that's happening right now. So I think innocent people will and are dying across the world through this war that's going on to create a new system in many, many different ways. Is it any different in Ukraine? I don't really think so. So we just got to be a little bit careful is really what I'm saying. I don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. We can't rely on any of the information that we're getting from anywhere. There's lots of different possibilities, but what we know, one of the things that we know is that they're trying to bring down the system across the world. So in all likelihood, this is part of that. It's a continuation of bringing down the system, probably. But that isn't to stop us having some hope that maybe there are still some people fighting that. And if anyone is fighting that, it would be Russia, I would say. If there is anybody, if there's anybody left that's not in the club that is fighting it, then Russia would be that place. So those are my thoughts. As I say, I don't know. I'm just making some logical, rational surmisings based on things that we definitely do know. So hopefully that's given you some food for thought. What do you think? I'd love to hear. Put in the thread below.